In this video, I'm going to be doing a review on the Pirelli Cinturato P7 tyres. They've been on this BMW for nearly 2 years now. They've done a lot of mileage, and I thought now would be an excellent time to do a review, give overall feedback, how they've performed during that duration, and if you're considering purchasing this tyre, whether I would recommend it or not. I'm going to break this down into a few sections. The first is going to be how much mileage and when they went on, the mileage that they were at, what they're currently at now. I'm going to take some measurements. The second will be talking about some of the technology. I have some chalk marks here with some wearing on it. I'm going to talk through what they actually mean if you're purchasing the tyre, what you can expect to get, and then give you some overall knowledge sharing on whether I would recommend this tyre or not.
Current mileage is 201,621 at time of recording, and that is versus 154,000 when the tyres were purchased. So these are getting up on 50,000 kilometers traveled. So we have a very good test period, a long duration of time since they were installed to when I'm doing this review.
The first check I'm going to show is the actual wear. How much have these tires worn in that amount of mileage that has been put on it. So I'm going to measure to the wear blocks here. You can see 4 of them. It's the outer edge, this is the center line, and then we have the inner edge block there. And why I like to measure to that is because that's the legal limit that's remaining on the tire. So when it gets down to those wear blocks, that is when technically the tire is essentially due for replacement immediately. Anything above that is above legal limit. Anything on that is at the legal limit. Anything below that is below the legal limit. So I'm going to measure directly to that wear block. Outer edge 2.4, inner 3.4, so the center line 3.4 again. And 3.4. So we have a consistency across these and a bit of unevenness here in a millimeter of a difference. Reason for that would be very likely wheel alignment hasn't been done on this in over 12 months, I believe. So that would be a factor why it's not perfectly consistent all the way across, but that's a very good wear on the front tires of this. Now bear in mind, this is a rear wheel drive vehicle. The tires have not been rotated for the duration they've been on this vehicle, so we should see a lot more wear on the back to the front, and I'll be able to check that now. So I've jacked the vehicle up so we can get a bit of area space in between the arch and the tire to actually look at these without taking the wheels off. We can see straight away the tire wear is more on the rear than it is in the front. Again, this is a rear wheel drive vehicle and the tires have remained on the back for the life of them. So almost 50,000 Ks done on it. I'm going to measure these now. Outer is 1.1, approximately 1.2. Got nearly 1.1 on that. 1.4 essentially, and then lastly on the inner edge we have 1.6. So across here we have about a mil or so remaining before they're on the legal limit. In my opinion, these will be due for replacement now. I don't like them going all the way down to the wear block. It would be a suitable time to get a replacement on them, but you can see it's a pretty consistent wear pattern all the way across, and I'm happy with the way that these tires have worn considering the evenness of that wear pattern right across the surface. So what you're seeing here is a chalk pattern drawn out that I decided to do to showcase some of the key features that a lot of people would not be aware of when they're purchasing a tire. A lot of reviews don't go into any detail on this type of tech, and they just talk about longevity of the tire, grip of the tire, and so on. But I find this extremely interesting. I went on a tire information training session day before with Continental, and they went into detail on the different compounds and why certain details are put into tires and how they affect handling and performance and quietness, etc. So I just wanted to share the 4 major ones on this and give you an idea of what you're buying when you get a P7 like this one. So first of all, the 4 grooves that are across, they're all the way around the tire, and they are one here, and 2 bigger ones in the center. They're for water evacuation. They're going to distribute the water and get rid of them quite good, and that's going to reduce any potential for aquaplaning. Aquaplaning is when there's a certain amount of water that gets on the underside of the tire in a wet weather condition, shall we say, and it has a film across it where you don't have traction. The tire isn't actually touching the road anymore, and it's going to cause the vehicle to be able to roll off and potentially be in an accident. I have replaced tires for customers in the past on aquaplaning conditions happening to them. So it is something I look for in a tire. I've always wanted to have wet weather condition tire that's very good, and this one is never had any issues with braking or handling in those conditions, so I've been very happy with that. The second feature I'm going to talk about is these 3 blocks. So in the central section of it, they call that the compact central blocks and robust external area. That's to help with steering response and cornering control. So that's why those are inbuilt like that, and that is another feature of it. The third feature I'm going to talk about is these ones, which are like staggered across the tire, and they are called the optimized tread design with specific pitch sequence. And what that's going to do is allow for a more relaxed and comfortable driving experience, is what Pirelli put that down to. But essentially it's for noise reduction and a more smoother road. That pitch sequencing or variable spacing is to control the sound waves as the tire is rotating back and over, so that that they can like cancel each other out, leading to a quieter ride. So that's why there's a different sequence as it goes along. So quite a cool bit of technology in that, and I can say that this car has handled very well with these tires on it. I can definitely recommend the tire, even though they're run flats. It wasn't a very harsh ride in my opinion. The roads are pretty good around where I live, but lots of highway mileage done on this, and it was smooth, not excessive noise. So a good tire. And as they wear down, a lot of other tires that I've had in the past, or complaints from customers, is they get louder as they wear, whereas this has nearly 50,000 Ks and it's still very good noise reduction in it. It's not a loud harsh ride by any means. And the last bit of technology is the overall design. So the compound blends and the makeup of the tire itself. They call it the innovation and advanced hybrid material that make the tire up. It allows for even tread wear thanks to a balanced pressure distribution. So we're not going to know exactly what makes that up. They keep that secret, but they have said in that feature that they're trying to get as even of a wear pattern across the tire as possible with that mix of compound that they have, and we can say that they have achieved that on this vehicle. It's pretty much even all the way across. There's a little bit of a difference on this side, which I shared with the millimeters of depth across. It was about 1 mil of a difference from here to there, but I'm happy with that overall. There's not much of excessive wear. Again, it's a high mileage tire now that this is in. This front one will last quite a bit more time, and the back ones are due for replacement. So 50,000 Ks from the back, and essentially probably 60,000, 65,000 plus we'll get out of these tires. Pirelli Cinturato P7. You see an RSC here. That means run flat, and the actual terminology is run flat system component. That's what that stands for. MOE. That means that this has been designed for Mercedes. The M is for Mercedes. I think it's original and extended. Extended means it's suitable in a run flat situation. It also has run flat on the side of the tire here. That does not mean it's not suitable for any other vehicles. That just means it's been spec'd out for Merc from factory, and they would go on some of their vehicles straight out of the manufacturer warehouse. What you can say is it's a high quality tire, and that stamping, whether it's MO or MOE, is going to be on many different brands like Dunlop, Goodyear, Bridgestone, Michelin and Pirelli. Anyone that has any agreement with Mercedes from new will have that on it. I'm not sure what the stamping is for Pirelli and BMW, but they have agreements in place. Well, it just means it's a high quality tire, but it's very suitable for this vehicle, and it's also suitable for many other as well. The sizing is 245, 45, 18. Load and speed rating is 100Y. So that's the exact specs on this one. It is a run flat tire. This is a BMW. It doesn't have potential for a spare in it. There's no space. There's no drop down area in the boot. There's no undercarriage area where you can store it from the bottom. So if you want to have a peace of mind, you will have a run flat tire on. Otherwise, you're going to be stuck at the side of the road if you get a puncture, and you will not be able to swap out with a different rim. So overall feedback on this tire is exceptional. I would highly recommend it. It's been a quality tire, exactly what I would look for in a tire. Good comfort for a run flat. I would not have any issues harshness wise or other. If you want an extremely soft tire, you will always go away from a run flat to where comfort is your 100% priority. In this case, it's always a balance I'm looking for that longevity of tire. I'm looking for that stability to where it's got good grip in cornering, it's got good grip in braking, and it's got the ability to continue driving, because with BMW it doesn't have a spare. So if there was an issue, if there was a deflation for one reason or another, you can get to a safe place off the road or get to a workshop depending on distance. So I would highly recommend this tire. It ticks all the boxes, and I think it's a very worthwhile one. I purchased this on a Black Friday sale. I do know over in Oz, Pirelli run 50% off on tires through certain providers. So if you are interested in getting a tire like this, highly recommend as we head to Black Friday right now. It would be a great purchase if you're looking to get it. I'll probably get 2 more within the next sale as well. And that is it for this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. I hope you found it useful and informative. If you did, please like, share, comment and subscribe, and I hope to see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.